Welcome to History Crossroads, where past meets present, and every story reveals a new path through time. Imagine New York City in the 1930s, a city both glittering with opportunity and darkened by the shadows of the Great Depression and rampant corruption. Organized crime had embedded itself deeply into the city's fabric, controlling industries from construction to gambling, and even infiltrating local politics. The mafia wielded influence over labor unions, ensuring that construction projects were mired in corruption and kickbacks. Political figures often turned a blind eye or even collaborated with crime bosses, enabling organized crime to extend its reach. This pervasive control allowed criminals to manipulate city contracts, secure bribes, and maintain a stranglehold on the economic and political systems. Violence and intimidation were tools of the trade, keeping communities in fear and ensuring silence. At the center of this web of corruption stood Charles Lucky Luciano, the undisputed kingpin of the mafia. Known for his cunning and ruthlessness, Luciano had built an empire that not only dominated illegal activities, but also extended into legitimate businesses. For years, he seemed untouchable. His power reached every corner of the city, from politicians to police officers, leaving him seemingly invincible. However, his reign of terror came to an abrupt end thanks to a brilliant and determined African American woman, Eunice Hunton Carter. Her relentless efforts unraveled the intricate network that shielded Luciano, proving that even the most powerful criminals could be brought to justice. Her story first caught my attention in a short we did that garnered significant interest, and for good reason. Eunice Hunton Carter's biggest break came when she unraveled the intricate network of Charles Lucky Luciano's criminal empire. By linking prostitution rings to the mafia's operations, she provided the crucial evidence that led to Luciano's conviction. This was not just a victory over one man, but a significant blow to organized crime in New York City. Welcome to History Crossroads, where we bring fascinating stories from the past to light. Be sure to subscribe and follow us for more incredible history. In this episode, we take a deeper dive into Eunice's extraordinary life and legacy, a story of courage, intellect, and an unwavering commitment to justice. Eunice Roberta Hunton Carter was born on July 16, 1899, in Atlanta, Georgia, into a family deeply rooted in activism and intellectual achievement. Her father, William Alpheus Hutton Sr., was the founder of the Black Division of the YMCA, tirelessly working to uplift African American communities through education and empowerment. Her mother, Addie Waits Hunton, was equally remarkable, a social worker, suffragist, and activist who dedicated her life to fighting for racial equality and women's rights. Together, they created an environment where education and service were not just valued, but expected. However, Eunice's early years were shaped by adversity. In 1906, the Atlanta race riot erupted, a violent and racially charged attack that left the city scarred and forced the Hutton family to seek safety elsewhere. They relocated to Brooklyn, New York, where Eunice's world expanded. In Brooklyn, she thrived academically, inspired by her parents' resilience and unwavering belief in education as a tool for change. These formative years not only provided her with a solid foundation, but also instilled a deep sense of responsibility and purpose. Eunice excelled at Smith College, where she earned both a bachelor's and a master's degree in 1921. At Smith, she delved deeply into social sciences and cultivated her skills in critical thinking and advocacy. She participated in initiatives that addressed racial and gender inequalities, shaping her awareness of systemic injustices. These experiences not only fueled her passion for justice, but also provided her with a network of like minded peers and mentors who supported her ambitions and encouraged her to pursue a career that would challenge societal norms. Her achievements were remarkable for any woman of her era, but especially for an African American woman navigating the systemic barriers of the early 20th century. At Smith, she also engaged in campus activism, participating in debates and organizing initiatives that address social inequalities. She carried these experiences with her as she pursued a groundbreaking career, driven by an unshakable belief that justice was worth fighting for. Yet, Eunice was just getting started. In 1932, she made history by becoming the first black woman to earn a law degree from Fordham University. Her determination and intellect set her apart, paving the way for a groundbreaking legal career that would soon place her at the center of one of the most famous legal battles in history. In 1935, Eunice Hutton Carter achieved another milestone, becoming the first African American female assistant district attorney in New York State. At a time when both racial and gender discrimination were deeply entrenched, Eunice's appointment was nothing short of revolutionary. She served under the ambitious and relentless special prosecutor Thomas E. Dewey, who was determined to dismantle organized crime in New York. Dewey's mission required a team of brilliant minds, and Eunice proved to be indispensable. Eunice's role on Dewey's team was pivotal. The mafia's influence stretched across the city, and Dewey's office faced an uphill battle in taking down its leaders. Eunice was tasked with investigating prostitution rings, a role that many dismissed as peripheral to the mafia's larger operations. But Eunice's keen investigative skills uncovered something astonishing: a direct link between the city's prostitution networks and Charles Lucky Luciano's criminal empire. Her work was groundbreaking in its scope and method. Through meticulous analysis and interviews, Eunice unearthed evidence that connected Luciano to a sprawling prostitution racket. She employed innovative investigative techniques, such as cross referencing financial records with testimonies from informants, to trace the flow of illicit money back to Luciano. Eunice faced numerous challenges during this process, including reluctant witnesses and active efforts by the mafia to obscure their operations. Despite these obstacles, her persistence and attention to detail uncovered the hidden network that formed the backbone of Luciano's empire. She revealed how he profited from the exploitation of women and how his control extended through layers of intermediaries to shield him from prosecution. Luciano maintained his grip on the network by enforcing strict hierarchies, ensuring that those at the lower levels of the operation had little to no direct contact with him. He used intimidation, bribery, and a web of coded communications to keep operations running smoothly while evading detection. His lieutenants acted as buffers, managing the day to day dealings, while Luciano orchestrated from behind the scenes, making it nearly impossible to tie him directly to the crimes. This level of meticulous control underscored the challenge Eunice faced in building a case against him. This information became the cornerstone of Dewey's case against Luciano. Her dogged determination and thoroughness earned her respect from colleagues who had initially underestimated her, proving that her sharp legal mind was indispensable. In 1936, thanks to Eunice's groundbreaking work, Luciano was convicted on charges of compulsory prostitution and sentenced to 30 to 50 years in prison. This conviction did not stand alone. It set off a chain reaction that enabled Dewey's team to dismantle other elements of the mafia's network. Luciano's underbosses and key associates faced legal scrutiny, leading to a series of convictions that weakened organized crime's grip on New York City. Beyond the Luciano case, Eunice also worked on other significant investigations that targeted corrupt city officials colluding with the mafia. Her contributions were instrumental in exposing bribery schemes and financial misconduct that had allowed organized crime to flourish unchecked. These additional cases underscored her comprehensive understanding of systemic corruption and further cemented her legacy as a trailblazing prosecutor. Eunice's career was not confined to the courtroom. She had a vision that extended far beyond the legal system, encompassing international advocacy and social justice. In the 1920s, she participated in the Pan African Congress, joining other leaders in advocating for the rights and self-determination of African nations. This early involvement in international politics broadened her perspective and fueled her passion for systemic change on a global scale. Eunice's eloquence and intellect made her a respected figure among global leaders and activists alike. Her commitment to global equality continued into her later years, as she worked with the United Nations and served on committees dedicated to advancing the status of women worldwide. One of her notable contributions was her involvement in drafting policies aimed at increasing educational access for women in underrepresented regions. She also spearheaded initiatives to combat gender based violence, laying the groundwork for future international protocols. Through her efforts, Eunice championed systemic change, ensuring that her work had a lasting impact on global gender equality. At the UN, she collaborated with other visionaries to draft policies that aimed to uplift women and marginalized communities, blending her legal acumen with a heartfelt commitment to social reform. Her work left a lasting impact, influencing generations of women's rights advocates and establishing her as a trailblazer on a global stage. As a member of the Executive Committee of the International Council of Women, Eunice represented 37 countries, bringing her legal expertise and passion for justice to the global stage. She advocated for women's rights, racial equality, and social reform, leaving an indelible mark on the international community. Her speeches often emphasized the interconnectedness of for justice, urging collective action to address global inequalities. Eunice's leadership extended to mentoring young activists, ensuring that her legacy would live on through the actions of others. Eunice's personal life was as inspiring as her professional one. She married Lyle Carter Sr., one of New York's first African American dentists, and the couple made their home in Harlem. Together, they raised a son, Lyle Carter Jr., who followed in his parents' footsteps by pursuing a career in law and later serving in the administrations of Presidents John F. Kennedy and Lyndon B. Johnson. Their home became a hub of intellectual and social engagement, reflecting the values Eunice upheld throughout her life. Eunice's legacy is one of resilience, courage, and unwavering belief in justice. From breaking barriers as the first African American female assistant district attorney in New York State to her instrumental role in convicting Charles Lucky Luciano, her achievements redefined possibilities for women and African Americans in the legal profession. Beyond the courtroom, her advocacy for women's rights at the United Nations and leadership within the International Council of Women showcased her commitment to global equality. Eunice's life exemplifies how determination and intellect can create lasting change, inspiring countless individuals to follow in her footsteps. She paved the way for African American women in law and public service, proving that barriers could be broken with determination and intellect. Her life and work are chronicled in the biography Eunice Hunton Carter, A Lifelong Fight for Social Justice, which celebrates her enduring contributions to the legal field and social advocacy. Her story continues to inspire those who fight for justice in the face of adversity. From her role in dismantling Luciano's empire to her global advocacy for women's rights, Eunice Hunton Carter remains a symbol of what can be achieved through perseverance and vision. She showed the world that one person, armed with knowledge, courage, and a sense of purpose, can change history. Her achievements serve as a reminder that the pursuit of justice knows no boundary, and her legacy endures as a beacon of hope and inspiration. Her influence is felt not only through her direct actions, but also through the countless lives she touched and the institutions she shaped. Thank you for joining us on this episode of History Crossroads. If you enjoyed Eunice Hutton Carter's incredible story, please follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more inspiring tales from the past. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to History Crossroads, where history meets the present. We'll see you next time at the crossroads of history.